and they are reflecting on it to bring out the best in us.
We try our best to succeed because there we have a lot of champions there. So for me, this was my first time for me being there.
It was very embarrassing, to say the least. It was very, very embarrassing, but there was hardly anything anybody could do at that moment. Yes, Ajoke Odumosu, as you all know, went with an injury. Tosin Oke also went with an injury. And this was caused by the fact that we didn't have any training camp where we would have discovered those injuries. As the head of the medical team to Moscow, I only learned about the injuries while we were there. And there was really hardly anything we can do. Well, Nigeria has a propensity to prepare very well for Commonwealth Games by going on foreign trips, foreign training tours. I'm sure we will have the opportunity to fix things during those trips.
And so that's it, Medical Director of the AFN, Dr. Ken Anugweja. And in his words, he said it is embarrassing. And today on the show, Tayo Salam is with me. And Tayo, good to have you on the show.
Yeah, it's good. It feels. I feel like a football player that has had different coaches and about 6 coaches in a couple of months. Okay. That's the way I feel exactly. But I'll try and adapt to the tactics of.
But it's not a debut. Yeah. Okay, let's talk athletics quickly. And then I listened to Ken Anugweja, that's medical director of the AFN. Yeah. He said he didn't even know that Tosin Oke was injured and Odumosu. What you get out of it?
I'll use the word again. Usually that kind of stuff is embarrassing and it's an anomaly. It shouldn't really happen. But he gave a very good reason why they couldn't figure out these particular athletes were injured before the competition because they didn't have a pre-tournament camping. Usually there's a pre-championship camping that they do where they have all the athletes together. And in that kind of situation, you find it very difficult as an athlete to hide your injury because you're being watched and you're being monitored by the coaches. But then I like to actually take it from another angle. Okay, we know these guys. We know where these guys. We know where they train. We know where they're based. Yeah. These guys could have been easily monitored.
Particularly Ajoke.
Yeah, Ajoke. Exactly, Ajoke and Tosin. Okay, we know where he's based, and I'm sure it's not very hard to monitor these guys. Actually, without being with them in close quarters, you can tell when they're jumping. In case of Tosin Oke, you can Tosin Oke, right? Yeah. Yeah, you can tell when he's actually participating in events, in triple jumps and stuff like that. In case of Ajoke Odumosu, I don't know if the injury actually happened at the last minute. Because if the injury didn't happen at the last minute, then you can easily monitor our progress over the season, and you can tell, okay, Ajoke didn't compete in the last IAAF meet or any kind of meet that they usually do to get ready for this kind of competitions. So I don't want to take that excuse. That's the point I'm trying to make. I don't want to take the excuse of the pre-championship campaign. I'm not taking it at all.
It's same year, and then it was a long interview. I spoke to Dr. Ken Anugweja, and he says that if Ajoke Odumosu had pulled out of the competition, that the IAAF would have traced her, go to her house, conduct tests. So what? She's representing a country. If she's not fit, she shouldn't be there.
Exactly, and for him to actually come on in and say she contrived to actually make two. He used the word contrived to actually have 2 false starts, and so because they didn't want to raise any suspicion in terms of doping and everything. It doesn't all go well for the country.
Okay, moving on swiftly. Said earlier, Super Eagles coach Stephen Keshi has invited 24 players for the all-important game against Malawi for the 2014 FIFA qualifying game, and then of course he has called 24 home-based professionals and 18 foreign-based players. So I'll get you talking again.
Yeah, when I first heard about this, the list for the Malawi game, I'm like, well, what does it need all these players for? For the 2 players to actually call for a game, it's an overkill if you ask me. And they're going to the amount of home-based players that have been invited to the camp. A lot of people are saying, oh, it's sad. It's sad that it's going to be just 5 home-based making the final list. But I don't think it's sad because Keshi has proven to be a coach that actually believes in the home-based players. I'm sure he's going to give them the chance at the right time.
Okay, that's it on your screen. The goalkeepers invited Vincent Enyoma, and then there is Chigozie Agwim, Austin Ejide, and Daniel Akpeyi. And the defenders, some of them you already know: Elderson Echejile, if Ambrose is not a new name, James Ukosa, Azubike Egweke of Warri Wolves, and then Godfrey Obabona of Sunshine Stars, who is getting ready to get a deal abroad.
It's only a matter of time before Godfrey Obabona start playing his trade in the foreign leagues.
Okay, so we have Super Eagles goalkeeper coach Ike Shorunmu on the line. He'll be talking to us about this list that has been released by Coach Stephen Keshi. Good morning, Coach.
Good morning, Austin.
Okay, Coach. We're talking about the list of players that have been invited for the all-important game against Malawi. I see 24 home-based professionals and 18 foreign-based players. But, Coach, I'm worried that in the end, only 5 home-based players will make the list.
Well, the most important thing is what we are doing is that we've got to know our players very well and to get the both home and foreign base together. And for the preparation towards our match comes up by January in South Africa. And it's better we start earlier and to know the players very well.
Coach, let me bring you to your specialty, and that's goalkeeping. In that game against South Africa, the Mandela Cup Challenge, we saw a commanding Austin Ejide. Yes, I know Vincent Nyama is the first choice goalkeeper, but what's it like looking elsewhere to see if there's a possible replacement or a better goalkeeper for the Super Eagles?
Well, the most important thing is that Go ahead.
Hello?
Hello?
Okay, Coach, I can hear you.
Yeah.
I'm saying that
very well.
in the game against South Africa, we saw a commanding Austin Ejide. He was good all round, control the defense line. And I'm saying I know Coach, I know Vincent Nyama is the first choice goalkeeper. But what's it like? This is your specialty, to see ways of bringing options into the goalkeeping function of the team.
Yeah, but it's very good to have a good bench. What I'm saying is that because you never know, it's a game of contact. And everyone can see that we have a good bench. Both Austin Ejide and Chigozie Agbe. In this department, I don't think you have any problem anymore. I believe they will continue the way they will, and the way he does it against South Africa. And this department is very sensitive.
Okay.
Thank God that we have capable hands and can back off for the Nyama.
Coach, tell me, I know the goalkeepers do very well to make good defenders. If Kenneth Omeru is not in that team and Godfrey Obabona is not in that team, does the Super Eagles of Nigeria have a defense line?
Well, this is a very good question. And as Steve now, we need to give the belief and the confidence and anyone that we put there to give us a good game. And in a way to have a good goalkeeper behind that can direct the defense line, it is more easier for the team to play very well. For sure, there might be some age that maybe in terms of experience, but the experience comes later. I mean, you cannot build a team one day. It's a step-by-step thing. And with this, I hope anybody that we are going to play in that defense match against Malawi, it make us proud.
Coach, and finally, tell me, I know I've heard Coach Stephen Keshi several times say Joseph Yobo is still the captain of the team, but this list again is missing. What's the situation with Joseph Yobo?
Well, this question you're referring to me now is better. I mean, is it Keshi by himself to answer this question? But we've been talking to Yobo, but he's a man to answer this question.
Okay, thank you so much, Coach, for talking to us.
You're welcome.
So, Tayo, that's it. Super Eagles goalkeeper coach Ike Shorunmu speaking to us. But then it was important we highlight the fact that without Kenneth Umaru and Godfrey Obabuna, is there a defense line for the Super Eagles?
Yeah, well, yeah, that's the job of the coach, really. We know those Kenneth Umaru and Godfrey Babin have done really well for the Super Eagles ever since they made their debut. And Kenneth Umaru, unfortunately, right now is out injured.
That's my concern.
Yeah, he had a successful surgery on his shoulder. But then again, as the Super Eagles of Nigeria, we shouldn't really be depending on one player. Before Kenneth came into the team, there was somebody playing before. The person playing before